from RTO here. Welcome to another classic album review. And this one is probably, I consider these the granddaddies of electronic music. Long before the 1980s. And it's the German band Kraftwerk. And we're going to look at their album Autobahn. But before we go through it, I'm going to dedicate this one to a guy that I've met through going on Rachel Ghost's live stream. He's a guy from Israel called Dees. Really nice guy, but he's going through a really bad time at the moment. So this one's for him because I know he's a big Kraftwerk fan. So I hope this sort of cheers you up, and I'm sure you'll be talking with me on the stream. And talking of Rachel's stream, she's moving on Saturday, and for some reason I've been asked to step in to do a stream. We're doing it on my channel, but you guys, if you want to come in and join in, feel free and see what happens when we go over there. It'll be going out in America, all over the world. There's lots of people that will be watching it, so come and join in the fun. That's next Saturday at 3 p.m. UK time. But if you go, I think it'll be 7 a.m. Western Pacific time or whatever, and I think it's 10 a.m. on the eastern coast of North America, something like that. Anyway, let's get back to Kraftwerk. Now, Kraftwerk were filmed in West Germany, in Dusseldorf, in 1970, by Ralf Hütter and Florian Schneider. And they are considered the innovators and pioneers of electronic music. And they were one of the best bands to popularise it. Now, they were part of what was called the West German krautrock scene. And then they started using synthesizers and electronic music. It's really good. Wolfgang joined the band in 1974 and Karl Bartos in 1975. So you've got this quartet, and they are absolutely... I first came across Kraftwerk with The Model. I thought they were a new band, and then I discovered, wow, they've been going years. And I really think, and they've sort of changed. They've done synth pop, hip hop, post punk, techno house, ambient, club music. They've done it all. And in 2014, they were the Recording Academy honoured Kraftwerk with a lifetime Grammy achievement. So they have been going, and then in 2021 they were inducted into the Rock and Roll of Hall of Fame in the Early Influence category. And they're still touring now, which is brilliant. So let's have a look at this album, Autobahn. Now, this was their fourth album, and it was released in November 1974. The album also marked the change of personnel of the band, which initially was that duo, and the group added Klaus Roeder on guitar and flute, Wolfgang Fleur on percussion. The album also completed the group's transition from experimental krautrock style to more electronic and drum machines. So the full band on this is Ralf Hütter on vocals, Florian Schneider, Klaus Roeder and Wolfgang Fleur. So side one, we have this 22-minute track called Autobahn, which of course is Motorway in English. Wonderful. This starts off, I'll just have a look. It starts off with the start of an ignition in the car, pulling away. Great. Then you start getting these keyboard sounds. Now, for 1974, some of these sounds were not around. I think the only other person I know that was using this sort of sound was Jean-Michel Jarre on his Deserted Paris album back in 72. So it was all brand new to the world, really. And the bit I love is that middle bit I like the swirls, and this is the first use of real drum machine, I think. Like, you know, drum machines were never heard of, and they've been around a long time. And it's programmed wonderful. It's very basic and raw, but it's electronic. I think the end piece of this is just fabulous as well. It seems everything seems to come together. I mean, this track was miles ahead of everybody else. I mean, it took up one side. 22 minutes of inspirational, groundbreaking electronic music. Absolutely stunning track. So on side B, now my German's not brilliant, so we've got Kometenmelodie 1, which is Comet Medley. This is very atmospheric, ambient. It's very, this is electronic space rock. That's all I can describe it as. It's eerie, ambient, sound effects coming. You listen to this under the headphones, you've got sound bites coming all around you. Best way to listen to this, I think, is under the headphones, because you really get into the track. Again, it's just really, really different for the time. I mean, we're used to it now, but you imagine listening to this in 1974. Wow. Then we get Kometenmelodie 2, Kometenmelodie 2. This is brilliant. That middle bit is sort of rock and roll synthesizers, and it's a really interesting sound. I just love this track. And then we get a track called Mitternacht, which I think is midnight, if I remember rightly. Small sound bites. It's clever, groundbreaking, and a real sound wave. And the little harmonies and all that sort of thing, it all works really, really well. Another really interesting track. And then we get Morgenspaziergang. My German is terrible. Morning Walk. This is really atmospheric. You get all this electronic, and then all of a sudden you get a flute and piano on it. And it's lovely. Absolutely. And you give that feel that you're having a morning walk. Very moody. It's a very clever piece of music. How did this album do? I mean, this was groundbreaking stuff. Yes, it did very well. In Australia, it was a top 10. It got to number 9. Canada, number 5. The German charts, number 7. Holland was number 11. In New Zealand, it got to number 7. Here in the UK, it got to number 4. And in America, number 5. So it did well. It did very, very well. Now, to me, this is one of the most important electronic synth albums to be ever made. First time we sort of got this sort of music, excuse me, I'm going to cough. Gesundheit. Now, the first time we heard this was on Jean-Michel Jarre's tape in 1972, Deserted Palace. Probably, I know, Kraftwerk would have heard this, but Kraftwerk then took that sound that Jean-Michel started and took it to another level. Not just a little bit, it went wham, like that. If this is so groundbreaking, drum machines used properly for the first time, sound bites that sort of flow into the track, lovely keyboard runs, the synthy sound, it's just terrific. This is what makes this an absolute brilliant album. And, you know, it was the benchmark to the start of this genre of music, I think. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking 8 out of 10 because I love playing this album. And yes, we are going to be doing a Kraftwerk album ranking at some stage. It'll be a marathon, of course, so it'll come up quicker than the shorter albums. But I wouldn't reckon this one will probably appear around about August, September time. So I'm looking forward to doing that because there's some of their stuff I haven't heard on more of the classic Kraftwerk. So, hope you enjoyed that, Dees. I'm sure we will be talking about it at some stage. Okay, that's all for today. Tomorrow, it's the last Tuesday of the month. That's come round quick. Which means it's Ladies' Day tomorrow, and tomorrow we've got a young lady from America and a young lady from Canada. The album ranking tomorrow is former Runaway singer and someone that I've actually seen in concert, and that's Lita Ford. And tomorrow's retro ranking is Canadian singer Elena Miles, which everyone only associates her with Black Velvet, but she did more than Black Velvet, and she is a great singer, and she's made some really good albums. So that's all coming tomorrow. And don't forget on Saturday that I will be standing in for Rachel's Ghost live stream. She does it every day. If you watch it, my UK subscribers, it's around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. She's on every day, and I go on quite a lot because it's great fun, and we talk about all sorts. But I'm actually hosting it on Saturday the 29th because Rachel is moving and she'll be off air, and I'm going to stand in for her, and we're going to do it from my channel. So come and join us because it's a worldwide live stream, so it's a big day. So I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.